Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to manipulate a spreadsheet that you already have going. So I opened up this one, and I don't have it named right now, so I'm going to delete that, and then this is going to be my master breakdown. I'm going to put a star on it because I like this one extra special. So when I'm talking about manipulating them, so you see a bunch of things in here that a lot of information. So there's a lot of reasons I have all of this information. So this is all about flour. You can see here, this is an S. This represents Sam's Club for me. These are the costs. And so then what I do is I break down, this is a 10-pound bag. So I actually do a formula in here, and I'll show you how to do that later in a different video. But I make my formula and it tells me it's 58 cents per pound is how much it costs. Well, there are 4 cups of flour per pound, so that tells us that there's 40 cups in a 10-pound bag. So it's 14 cents for a cup of flour. So I have a lot of this stuff already figured out, so you ladies don't have to do that, but I will show you how to do it later on. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is what I'm trying to do here is I want to separate out my my items by basically by aisle. So where I'd be shopping for it in the aisle in the store, so it's easier just to categorize. So I would take, for example, flour. You see how I'm not going to select this stuff because I want this to be at the top of my stuff, at the top of each of my pages basically. But I'm going to select everything that has to do with this subject. I'm going to copy, I'm going to, hold on a second, I'm so sorry. So I'm going to select it, and then, because I want this information, and I'm going to right click on it, I'm going to cut. So you see how it has the little blue dot dashed lines around it, and it's all highlighted. I'm going to bring it all the way down to the bottom because I'm going to start plopping stuff here. Then I'm going to put select a cell. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to paste. So now it has brought that all the way down here. So now when you go all the way back up, it's gone. Now we can take and delete, select these 4 empty lines and delete them. Okay, so I'm actually going to take all of this stuff right here because this is what I would consider baked goods, and I'm going to select, I actually could have just left them there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and undo and undo, and there it is. So now this is all baked goods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this row, and I'm going to insert one above it. Okay, so now I am going to take this whole area right here on line 2, rows A through G, and I'm going to what's called merge them. Now I'm going to select that cell, and I'm going to write on here baking goods. Okay, so now that tells me everything here is baking goods, but I'm kind of particular, so I want to center my stuff. So this is where you do your alignment, and it's centered. I like it centered both vertically and horizontally. So now this is baked goods. I could actually take and make this a color to make a distinction. And I will just say I will make all of my, I'm filling this cell. I will fill it with red berry. And I will change this font to white. Now I know everything under this particular heading is going to be for baked goods. So then I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to go to, I think there was something in here that wasn't. I'm going to just take this honey out of here, And I will actually, since there's just one, I'm just going to take the entire line. I'm going to cut it. Actually, it's so hard for me sometimes to decide where to put stuff. What I really want to do is to go through and go through. Honestly, my intent will be to go through my entire store and make pages, probably like 4x6 pages or 4x6 cards, and actually put each thing on a card and go through the aisles in my shopping mall. So for example, when I walk into Fred Meyer, right there's a produce section, and I want my first 4x6 to be the produce. So I want to categorize all of my stuff by that. That type of category. Then you go on down, and then you've got the health food section, and you've got the Fred Meyer bakery, and then you have the meats. And so you just kind of going along that way is how I actually want to ultimately create my lists, both for going shopping and for tracking all of my goods. So I'm going to stop this process. I'm going to come over here. These are my go-to meals that we were talking about before. And so what I'm going to end up doing is, of course, these are my go-to meals. I say have at least 21. I have 27. You can add to it. You can subtract from it. You can modify these at any time. But at least getting your brain going and figuring out what those will be very helpful. So like for me, I figured out what a cup of coffee costs me. So I use Seattle's Best coffee, the 5 blend, really strong. I get that from Fred Meyer. I can get it for $5.99 at Fred Meyer. I use heavy cream, so depending on which I go with, I can buy it from Sam's Club. But if you see here, Fred Meyer's was cheaper for a smaller container, 5 cents for a tablespoon. Then sugar, this is like the basic. This is a large breakdown, so that's how much it cost a cup. So I took and broke it down even more, so now we know how much it costs for a tablespoon. So for me, don't judge me. This is what my cup of coffee costs, 30 cents. Yes, I use a lot of sugar, and yes, I use a lot of heavy cream. Everybody knows this about me. So that tells me my cup of coffee that I totally love and enjoy is 30 cents. So if I'm out and about and I know I'm on a budget and I'm like, do I take the risk of going to fill in the blank drive-through and getting a cup of coffee, or do I save $7 or $5 and go home and have a 30-cent cup of coffee that I know I'm going to love? 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go home and have a cup of coffee. Having this helps me to make those choices a lot easier. So for example, here's my chili. For my recipe, this is what I used, and this is doing it with packaged seasonings. So of course what I'm doing is intending to turn around and make my own spice seasoning mixes, and I would love to do that with you guys in the future. And then we're going to break down each of those ingredients and each of those cost points, and then we're going to see how much we're saving by using our own seasonings. So this is how much it would cost for my family to have chili. It would cost $17.73, and it's for a family of 5. That's actually supposed to be a number, so I'm going to format this real quick to a plain text, and then make that a 5. So that basically is, for a family of 5, it's $3.55 a person. So if I go to my chicken parm pasta, you will see a huge difference. So $1.80 a person, because I used a rotisserie chicken. So basically this is what you're seeing is the insides of what I'm doing and breaking down and why and how. And what I love about this is that I get to turn around and I get to have these quick and easy recipes, but then I get to have a great foundation formula. So for example, my goal is to have this chicken parm pasta with say organic chicken. Well, of course, organic chicken is going to be 4 to 5 times as much. So what I'll be able to do in this breakdown is I'll be able to show this is what the chicken costs, this is the breast amount I used, and this is the bone broth that I got from it, and this is the dark meat that I was able to use in, say, a fajita recipe. And so that breakdown will be completely different, but it will be, even though the chicken is more expensive, I'm getting way more out of it. And so it'll just be fun to be able to have this breakdown in healthier versions. So I'm going to be done with this video for now, and then I will do a video on how to do the formulas for creating all of this stuff. I'm actually in the middle of streamlining it, and I don't want to video it while I'm streamlining it. I will streamline it and then do the video. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you